$1 million. Yep, we got there. Stay tuned. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. So glad you could join me here today. Every week on Prime Properties TV, we take a closer look at the Toronto real estate topics and updates that matter the most to you. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about this crazy milestone. Good or bad, however you want to perceive this, it's here. The average price of a home in the Greater Toronto Area is now over $1 million, $1,050,000 to be exact. So if you like content like this, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the Prime Properties channel. The button to subscribe should be right here. Smash that like button right now. Cool, thanks. So while we all knew this day would come eventually, right? I just don't know how I feel now that it's kind of like here. Like, this is what I imagine. Like, if I had kids, it's kind of like dropping them off at university for the very first time. Very proud of them that they got there, but also very sad that they're gone and out of the house. At least that's what I imagine I would feel like if and when I have kids that leave for university, right? I have no idea, but that's just what I think. So let me know in the comment section below how you kind of feel about this $1 million average price milestone. Actually, $1,050,000 again. So I'm proud that the GTA got here, but it just shows the desirability of our city. But this $1 million price point is essentially making housing unaffordable for a lot. And the milestone is gonna like bring it up to like right in front of you, right? Now, the rough rule for how much you can afford is about 5 times your gross income with like 20% down payment. So for the average person to buy a GTA home, you need $200,000 gross income and $200,000 down payment. That's most definitely not average. And I've talked about the gap getting bigger and bigger and bigger for a while. It's just that it's weird feeling now that it's here, right? So here are the latest numbers. Your average price is like $1,050,000, up 15% from last year. Sales are almost at $11,000, up 50%. And while sales are up, listings only up 44%, making our months of inventory even lower at like 0.79, making this the second lowest months of inventory ever, only behind December 2016, which was like 0.78. This means there are more sales than there are listings. So if you're wondering how we got to $1 million in February, that is why. If you've watched enough of my videos, you'll know that I always harp on the fact that months of inventory is a leading indicator of prices, right? So when you have inventory come down, prices will go up. If you have inventory go up, prices will come down, right? So this, for us to see the second lowest months of inventory ever, you kind of know where things are heading, right? So while inventory is essentially at a historic low right now, you can also probably have heard me talk about how February is historically known for low inventory and prices going up month to month. And I always talk about how February prices always go up from January to February. So right now, the average price essentially in a month went up 8%. Crazy, right? Well, it's actually not that crazy. See, the other thing I kept harping on in the last few months is February prices are going to increase from month to month, but oddly enough, it wasn't as high as last year. Strange, right? So if you have a look on the screen here, you can see that this February, we're obviously behind, the February of 2017, which was like face-ripping rally, right? Then we're also behind 2020 February last year. And we're also behind 2016 February, which was 5 years ago. Then also behind 2012, right? So really not that crazy. I personally would have thought we'd be closer to 10%, maybe like 9.5%. But the rationale I used last month was that the amount of condo sales was so high and made up for like a big portion of the sales, and it dragged the average price down. But looking at the condo sales this month, it's kind of back to the normal percentage of what it should be, right? So while some people will read the data as condo prices are down right now, because technically year over year it is down like 6.34%, because the peak of 20 in February, like before the pandemic, condo prices in the 4 and 6 were like 722,000. But to see this kind of rebound in the last 4 months is absolutely insane. It rebounded faster than the freehold. But more on that next week in the podcast as I fully break down more of these numbers and get really nerdy. So make sure you subscribe to the PPO channel right here. Click the button. So make sure you subscribe. So while the average price has broke $1 million, this as a percentage increase really wasn't that much if you think about it, right? The milestone is going to make the headlines, but the real estate market definitely has more to go. Probably, yeah. So again, I'm gonna get into the really nerdy stuff in the podcast next week so that you can see why, but all signs point to a little bit of exuberance, if you know what I mean. But what I can say anecdotally from trading every day is this: I am seeing less showings on listings for sure. I'm also starting to see more listings pop up as well. So whether this is from the 905 no longer being in lockdown or sellers thinking they want to cash out, that is coming. It is going to affect the market. But is it enough inventory to quench the buyer demand? Probably not. However, on the buyer side, I am seeing less showings as well. And that could be the fact that, because there's more listings, more options, or maybe buyer fatigue is finally starting to set in, right? I'm also seeing in the rental market, especially specifically in the downtown, also pick up, right? And then there's also talks about the offices reopening, so that could be a shift in the buyer psychology as well. So does this mean prices are coming down? No, but I think the giant bull run that could slow or stop at the very least, I hope, right? Because historically speaking, March starts getting busier for us as realtors, but in terms of pricing, it generally stays about the same in February, right? You can have a look on the chart here. Obviously there's exceptions, but like a minor 1 to 2% increase month over month is fine. It's kind of like Toronto standard, but then April starts to pick up again. Is this something we can expect? I would say so, right? We're kind of back to the normal seasonality of things after the pandemic. And this is why I said things can be less crazy, but don't take less crazy for prices coming down. It's just a slower casual increase relative to the last 3 months we've had, right? Some other things I want to touch on before this video gets way too long again. The average price of a detached in the 4 and 6 now is like almost 1.7 mil. It is now, note, $100,000 higher, which was the last month's record. So essentially, we had a month-to-month increase of a measly 6.5%. But you have to remember, the numbers we're talking on in the 4 and 6 right now is so large, so the scale is different. Semis and towns are in 4 and 6 are also up 6% and 12% respectively. Prices are about 1.3 mil and 913,000, I think. Towns in Toronto will be hitting $1 million very, very soon because of the affordability factor. That's why they're increasing faster than the other stuff. $1 million is a lot more reachable than the 1.65 detached home. So that's why those prices are going up, right? Like I was saying. Now, affordability is all relative to each person's situation, unfortunately. There are pockets in Toronto that are like silly hot where things are just like being priced at 999,000 because they don't know what it's going to sell for, and then eventually sells for like 1.65 mil. And I'm not going to get to the ridiculousness of that, but just so you know, if you want a house in the East York area or like High Park, Roncy in the West, it's like a bloodbath out there right now. Now, condos, on the other hand, are making a comeback, like I was saying, because freehold properties are increasing so much that basically it's become unaffordable for those who have been looking for the last 3 months and they've been priced out, right? So if you think you're getting a deal in the condo space now, no, but multiple offers are back and so are bidding wars, right? So while this is happening, I actually do believe condos are a little bit undervalued right now based on the price of what a freehold property is going for. So read into that so as you will, but I do think there's more room for the condos to go up in price. I'm not saying that's going to go up faster than the freehold, but I'm saying there's more room for condos to go up. Then let's talk about our favorite detached region, the 905. Average price is still at 1.35 mil, down a smidgen from last month, but inventory has also decreased. Inventory has also increased, but it's being absorbed a lot faster. So we went from 0.96 months of inventory to 0.82. So the demand is still there, and if not, increasing. I can tell you from some of the things I've seen, prices are getting silly, especially in Vaughan and Richmond Hill. They make no sense. Some of these properties that were sold for like $900,000 6 months ago are now selling for 1.2. Right? So if you're ever looking for houses in those two cities, you understand why. The buyers have money, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, right? You know what kind of ethnicity is buying there. So anyways, without me making another 20-minute video again, I'm going to cut it off here, even though I feel like I have a lot more to say, but I'll reserve a lot of that for next week's podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and get the notify button so you know when I put it up. Now, for anyone who's basically trying to figure out like what the heck you should do in this market, I can tell you this. Nobody has a crystal ball. I can tell you that from what I know, that educated conclusions I can derive from data, monetary policies, and also what I'm seeing every day from trading real estate, there's still no hard and fast rule on what the heck is going to happen. It's seriously it depends situation, right? So if you're confused after hearing all this data being thrown at you and you're trying to make a move in real estate, whether you're buying or selling, you could book a call with me using the link on the screen. It should be right here. It's www.chatwithzen.com. You can use that to book a strategy call to determine what's the best approach for whatever it is that you and your family are trying to do in the real estate market. Hopefully this helps. This milestone still has me feeling kind of weird and proud at the same time. It's such a weird feeling. Anyways, until next time, your move, your future. See ya. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.